Hello, welcome to GameGazm. I'm Sir Jay.
And I'm Sir Brendan.
And today we're going back to steampunk Victorian England.
Are you talking about the Order 1886?
I am.
Spiffy.
Silent night. Holy night.
This is The Order, and it's been in the media quite a lot as of late, with the gaming community in most cases shunning it. But why? Let's take a look into what The Order is and why it's such a love it or hate it game.
The story follows Sir Galahad and the Knights of the Order. This order of warriors have been keeping the world safe from half-breed monsters known as the Lycans, and they've been doing it for centuries due to this magical elixir known as the Black Water. The Black Water heals all wounds but cannot prevent death, and each Knight of the Round Table carries a vial of black water around their necks.
The game is laid out in a linear movie-like format. You, as the player, are along for the ride in a very immersive, story-filled game with great characters and smatterings of gameplay. It's hard to look at this like any other game, so we're not going to try. If you understand what The Order is, and it is very much an interactive movie, then you will accept and love it for what it is and not for what it should be. It's not based around one piece of gameplay like cover shooting, it's a narrative that contains small familiar gameplay elements that changes throughout the experience.
For example, there's parts of the game you'll only ever see once, much like some aspects of the Uncharted series. But unlike Uncharted, each encounter with the enemy force is justified and serves the narrative of the story, without it ever feeling like insert gun battle here just to keep player entertained. The Order doesn't throw in gun battle after gun battle like Gears of War or Killzone, for example.
Not to downplay those two very successful franchises, The Order is particular in its experience and moves the player through a story that is meaningful without all the filler action bits or skill trees or equipment management. The shooting in The Order plays very well and feels not too dissimilar from Uncharted, and also has a Gears of War feel to it. The weapons are 18th century styled steampunk-esque weapons, and they all feel and sound like proper black powder nasties. You can almost smell the burn every time you pull the trigger.
This thermite machine gun lets you fire a barrage of thermite bullets, then its secondary fire mode lets off a burning spark round that ignites the thermite floating around the enemy, burning them to a crisp. There was a particular moment where an enemy was held up in the building, so I fired thermite through the window, and when I ignited it, the fire spread through every window and the explosion was immense.
When you get in a tight squeeze with being overwhelmed by an attack, you can unleash Black Sight mode. A quick tap of the L1 button allows Sir Galahad to use his sidearm to reel out multiple rounds that lock onto targets in the immediate area. This is handy for taking out tougher enemies too, as you can literally riddle them with fancy gun-skilled shots.
The enemies are a mixed bag of your standard grunts, with shotgun specialists that will charge your position, sometimes using a shotgun, or sometimes, if you're really unlucky, you'll get one packing a coach gun that literally blasts hot buckshots at you like fireworks. Armoured enemies require many more bullets to bring down, and sometimes carry grenade launchers.
Then there are the half-breed Lycan werewolf dudes. There are certain parts of the game where you will encounter these, and they are fast and pounce at you with quick lunging attacks. These can be avoided, and you have to finish them off with your knife once you've knocked them down.
A lot of the game is story building and character interactions that have an impeccable level of voice acting and style. The characters are well rounded, and for the first entry into what will hopefully have a sequel, it does a great job of establishing the world and the lore within its time. Now, there has been numerous claims of this game is only 5 hours long, or oh my god there's no replay value, or there's hardly any gameplay, and all I can say is look folks, this isn't a game like Evolve that lets you play 15 minutes of bullet sponge hunting over and over again. It's a highly produced work of art that takes a more solid approach to a movie style game than we've ever seen before.
On our playthrough on normal, we did it in 7 hours, but when I go through it again, and I will, I plan to look into every nook and cranny of this incredible detailed world, read every news clipping I find, and discover all the hidden audio files and listen to those as well. Coming away from the game left me with a feeling that I just want to play more, and make sure I see everything that the developers have worked hard to put into it.
Heavy Rain is a good example of interactive drama that has you using quicktime events throughout its entire length, and I found that very hard to sit through again, and well, in fact I've never gone through it again. The quicktime in The Order is there and there's a lot of it, but it never feels pointless, like setting out plates carefully from Heavy Rain, and some of the interactions using it are really well done. In particular, a fight with an elder Lycan was hair-raising and really exciting to play.
Lastly, let's not gloss over the fact that from the beginning to end there is no pauses, no loading screens, nothing but the game and its story that carries you and immerses you from beginning to end. And to put a final point on this review, we're not going to score it. We can't score it. It doesn't work for a score system. It's an experience that some people will enjoy and some people won't. It's a technical masterpiece and a great story that plays out like a really good film. If you liked Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Fahrenheit, Indigo Prophecy for our USA fans, along with small elements of Gears of War and Uncharted, I would recommend trying this title out. Its production value is astounding, and it's great that we weren't lumbered with yet another unfinished buggy pile of trash that required a 6GB day one update just to work properly. It was worth every minute of our time playing its 16 chapters, and it's one that we will very much enjoy playing again. Sir Galahad and the Knights of the Round Table, we salute you. Adieu, mon ami.
I can smell you, human.
Look out!
And that was the Order 1886. Not to everyone's taste, but in my opinion, it's well worth the experience.
No, it's a brilliant game, and I can't understand all the animosity that it's getting from reviewers, and review scores as low as 2 for a game, which is brilliant. It worked first time.
Yeah, what was the one review we saw? Like, it does this well, it looks amazing, the shooting's good, but it's just a bad game. What does that even mean?
Yeah, no meaning behind it. Just it's a bad game just for the sake of it.
Yeah,
I think.
And that was from a top end reviewer, wasn't it? And it's like, what? Really? How can you literally say it doesn't do anything wrong and then say it's a bad game? I don't get that. I mean, okay, maybe they meant bad game as in the sense of it's not really presented like what you'd perceive as a traditional game, is it? Really?
No.
It's more like it's like Heavy Rain. I mean, I know I keep comparing it to Heavy Rain, it's because it's got all of the quicktime events in it, but it does have, that narrative structure that flows, and it works really well with the gameplay that they have put in. Albeit there's not a lot of it, but what you get is gourmet deliciousness.
Yeah, I mean, there are gunfights there, and they serve a purpose. They're like we said before, they're not thrown in just for the sake of it. They works alongside the narrative. The quick time events, they never feel dull, boring. It's fast paced, and just the game in general just looks stunning while you're watching or playing it. And
those moments that we were saying, like that just looks real.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like you get to some parts of it and you're just like, that looks so real. You can't tell the difference. You only know that it's not real because, if someone was glancing through the doorway while we were playing, they would think we were watching a movie because it just looks that good. And even if you just played it, like maybe wait until it comes down in price if you're not too sure on it. But even if you just like bought this and played it just to experience the look of it alone is it's jaw-dropping, and it kept me hooked all the way through it. Just everything just looked so good.
I mean, it looked brilliant, and it was, yes, it's a linear experience, but there's enough open world games out there now. I mean, we've got Grand Theft Auto, all the Assassin's Creeds, and I like a linear story-based game. If I want an open world game, I'll go get one. But this game, brilliant. Yeah,
like we said, it's nice to just not have another game with another mini-map and another upgradable skill tree. It was just nice to have something that harkens back to the old school linear cinematic adventure. And yeah, I think it's in its early days, and they do need to, if they're going to try this approach again, I think there is a lot that they could do and they can do to please everyone. But for now, I think we should look at this as an opportunity of something that could come in the future of something to broaden out on, and I think they've got off on the right foot.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not going to please everyone, and yeah, there's some people that are just going to hate on it, which there are. There's all these claims of, it's 5 hours and all of that's cutscene. It's not. It is a good experience, but there you go.
Just take it for what it is. Yeah. Enjoy the game for what it set out to be.
Exactly. Anyway, that's all we've got time for today, so don't forget to click the like button if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. I've been Brent.
I've been Jane.
And we've been GameGazm.